Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of Vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Hockey fans, are you ready to brave the wild with me, your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan? Brave the Wild is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Double Twist, PodMN, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and now Amazon Music. I apologize, I forgot one of them. I think I mentioned most of them right there, but here we are once again. Even though we're not actually playing NHL hockey, it's the tradition. Tradition continues forever. Brave the Wild on Thanksgiving. Because there's always at least something to talk about. And, of course, collective bargaining agreement, frustration. That's why there's no start date. We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about the Retro Reverse Jerseys for the Minnesota Wild. And throughout the league a little bit, little opinions. I know just about everybody's talking about them, so I better jump in and mention my feelings, my thoughts. So, kind of is what it is. Great to be back on board. Brave the Wild once again. Wonderful success on the most recent show. It's one of the better ones in a while. The free agency and draft review, all that. That was fun. And Minnesota Wild look to have a pretty exciting team going forward. We'll see what happens there. So, generally speaking, let's look at the retro jerseys now, I guess. I mean, I might as well start right where it is. I like the New Jersey Devil ones, I guess you could say. They add the green just like they had back in the late 80s, early 90s after they became the New Jersey Devils from being the Colorado Rockies. But first, let's talk about the Minnesota Wild one. I'm jumping ahead, being kind of weird, but the North Star colors are back, and you got those, you could say green, white, and gold stripes kind of all mixed together. Classic early 80s look. Early to mid-80s, we'll say. Some people think it goes back to 78. I guess part of the jersey does, and part of it doesn't. I suppose. But, yeah, and obviously the black stripe came in, and it lasted about maybe 4 or 5 years there, till from about 86 to 91. That's when the black stripe kind of came into the mix. It kind of came in the middle of the two. So this is, of course, earlier than that. And the Minnesota Wild logo on the front. All kinds of debate on if you like the North Star colors or not. I would say most people would love to see the Minnesota Wild actually switch to this permanently in terms of the Minnesota Wild colors become the North Star colors. And you can easily do that because, pine green and, golden sunrise, golden sunset, this and that. And then you have State of Hoppy out there. Of course, the Soda Pod. He hates the North Star colors or dislikes the North Star colors. He probably didn't say hates them, but because it looks like the Green Bay Packers.
Bull crap, buddy boy.
You want to know something crazy? Really crazy. I almost liked the Packers years ago because how much I love the North Stars. That's how I feel about green and gold, so I guess we're polar opposites on that one. State of Hoppy, though, what an awesome guy. Awesome guy from the Soda Pond. Of course, Isha as well. Hilarious. Those guys have some fun back and forth, talk about beer, talk about hockey, so shout out to that show, of course. Kind individuals. Isha's from Vancouver, and Hoppy, I believe, is in the Edina area, I believe. So, awesome guys, of course. Oh, I don't agree with you, though. Just in case, I don't agree with the dislike of the North Star colors. I'd do it in a heartbeat if I had the opportunity, and I'd love to have the N Star. I'd just like to be called the Minnesota North Stars again. I'd love it. Some of you might think, yeah, okay, move on, that's weird, or this and that, and you have to get the rights. But it's just from the NHL, though. It wouldn't be any type of a challenge. The Dallas Stars do not own the rights to the North Stars. That's the good news. It's nice that they did that, thank God. Because if they didn't, well, that would be all she wrote. I would not mind moving to these other colors, though. Looks like, kind of as I dig around in Twitter, this is going to be a one-segment shot here. Anthony Sardelli. I like that name. I love that name, Sardelli. That's a cool name. Hockey writer. All right. Yep. Well, I'm later to the club than he is, that's for sure. He's probably been doing it for a while. Welcome on board, Anthony Sardelli. That is an awesome name. At Brave the Wild is the Twitter account. Facebook.com/BraveTheWild.Minnesota, because for some reason Brave the Wild was taken on Facebook many years ago, because obviously I started the show many years ago. The Spurgeon General, I like that one as well. So, back and forth. Yep, Derek Felska was saying more great ways to listen to hashtag Minnesota Wild Talk, or MN Wild Talk, from Brave the Wild. That was, of course, when I moved to Amazon Music, or added it to Amazon Music. Really cool. But back to the retro reverse jerseys and all that. I really like it. It's $180. $180 if you want like the authentic and everything, which is what most people are going to do, of course, unless you want like a jersey or a hoodie. I mean, even hoodies are expensive these days. But the one thing I'd say, see, it's $180, and that's without putting a number and a name on it. Once you add that, it's like another $80, I think. So that's the one thing. It's expensive. So it depends on how much you have and how much you're willing to spend and this and that. I'd love to get one. Still thought crossed my mind, and of course the overtime at work has been insane lately, so I guess maybe that'd be a way to reward myself, or pay for half of it and the other half be a Christmas present or something. So yeah, nudge, hint. No, I'm kidding. I don't think any of my family members are listening right now, but yeah, it's one of those type of deals. Well, should we bounce around through all of them? But again, I do believe the Minnesota Wild one, mostly because of the colors and, of course, again, the design. It looks like an old North Star jersey. The upper part, that does look like the late 70s. How it's like the green shoulder, the green shoulder layer, you can call it. I forget exactly what they call that. It's like the layer around your neck and shoulder area, which is how the green jerseys in the past had white there. And then later on, the white jerseys did not have it. But in the older days, the white jerseys did have the green look on the top. So I guess that's the 70s part, you could say. I suppose. It's like 70s mixed with mid-80s, kind of mix and match, I suppose. But generally, I suppose it is 78. So pardon my ignorance and craziness. The North Stars one, the North Stars Minnesota Wild one, was ranked in the top 5 in most categories. Most people rank them that way. Of course, those of them out there that don't like the colors, I don't understand you, but that's your opinion, I guess. Justin Backey's more of kind of like, he loves our colors, he's okay with keeping our colors, but he also loves the North Star colors as well, that type of thing. He's kind of happy with both. I'm kind of happy with both, too. The Christmas colors, as they call it, very cool, very different, I guess. I suppose we look like the Seattle Metropolitans back in the day, and the Seattle Kraken will look absolutely nothing like it. My frustration with the Seattle Kraken one is it looks just like the Mariners. I don't know, and I don't know. It's a really cool logo and everything, but at the same time, I still feel they could have done more. It looks too much like the Seattle Mariners, and that's like their actual regular jersey that came out not too long ago, jersey and logo and all that. This and that. Maybe it's not really their full look yet. But I agree with anybody that would put the Minnesota Wild's retro reverse jersey in the top 5, and some publications have it number 1 overall. Which, that makes me feel good. Briefly now, New Jersey Devils, like I was saying, I like it. I like that they brought the green back. It brings you back in the day, late 80s, early 90s, the greatest era for video games in the history of mankind, in my humble opinion. That's why I've got this Game & Watch mini that came out not too long ago. It came out on, was it November 13th, and I ended up getting it like the Monday after that. Because, of course, you can't get anything off Amazon. It sells out in like 10 seconds, even though you think their storehouse is bigger. But, of course, with free shipping and all that, if you have Amazon Prime, you'd get it right away. Then you have Target, and Target had a ton of them in St. Louis Park. That was pretty cool. That's my neighboring city. So, of course, this is not an ad for it. I just think it's cool. I love this Game & Watch mini. $50, pick it up, I guess. I mean, heck, why not? I'm a Nintendo Classic type of guy. Of course, again, I know Derek Felska loves retro games as well out there. He's one of the coolest guys ever. Happy Thanksgiving, Derek. Awesome guy. I didn't go with questions today. I just figured this is kind of on the fly, and I didn't want to bother anybody, that kind of thing. I didn't want to put any pressure on anyone like, oh, get this out. If I was ahead of myself a little bit and said maybe on Tuesday, on Monday or something, I brought it up, maybe round up some questions, that might have worked out better. I just didn't want to bother anyone, that kind of thing. So that's just my thought process. Winnipeg Jets, one of the lamer ones, I think. I like the logo. The logo's awesome. Now that's the original New York Jets. Yeah, New York Jets. The 0-10 New York Jets check out Purple Mafia for a conversation about that, I guess. Minnesota Vikings podcast, of course, done by a certain host. I don't know, some clown in Golden Valley. Okay, Winnipeg Jets, it's the original logo, which I really like, actually. I like the logo, so they kicked ass with that. Thank you. I don't like the current Winnipeg Jets logo. It looks like Labatt Blue. It's meh. The classic one and the one in the late 80s, early 90s, I'll say again, the greatest era ever for most things. Maybe not everything, but most things. That's actually my overall favorite Jets logo, but this one's right up there. It's freaking awesome. But after that, like the gray color and then the navy blue and the white stripe, it's kind of lame. It's one of the weaker ones, but the logo's awesome. Unfortunately, it's not the same colors that the logo would be. There's no red in the logo. So that's my one disappointment with that one. A little bit. They basically had New York Islanders colors in the logo. Very similar, kind of red, white, blue, that type of thing in the past. But of course, it's not American. It's Winnipeg, Manitoba. The Vancouver Canucks, obviously a very talented young team, blah, blah, blah. And a very, they brought in Braden Holtby. That's interesting, obviously. This one got some flack, excuse me. I think it's okay. It's okay. It's kind of, how do you describe it? How it kind of it shifts colors in the middle. You know how you kind of go from it goes from green to blue kind of gradually in the middle, kind of like foggy style. It's kind of cool. And it's got that Canuck logo with, that's the logo during the era when the Minnesota Wild beat them in 7 games. I think a lot of people think that's one of their weaker logos, actually. There's the original one, with the hockey stick and everything. It's pretty cool, actually. I think I like that one the most, but I like the one in the, should I say it again, the late 80s, early 90s, and actually even, it's kind of like the whole 80s, actually, where it was, because I remember them way back, too. They made the Cup Finals way back in the old days as well and got smoked by, I believe it was the Islanders in the early 80s. So pretty much the whole 80s when they had that yellowish, brownish, and all that orangish. I like that a lot, actually, as well. I think that was really cool. But this was like the 2000s, early 2000s-ish, when Cloutier was the goaltender. Not Cloutier, but that was, Matt Cook, all those guys, Minnesota Wild, and, Minnesota Wild and Vancouver went to 7 games, and Darby Hendrickson ended up finishing it off. That was an awesome time. And then it's got the colors of, kind of current colors, you could say, current/retro colors, and kind of meshes in. I don't know. It's okay. I think it's adequate. It's not the best. Could be better. Could be worse. Toronto Maple Leafs, it's what it is. It's Toronto Maple Leafs. It's blue. It's kind of that whitish gray. It's got the blue maple leaf, and it says Toronto Maple Leafs. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's kind of different how the line kind of goes all the way through the sleeves and all that. It's not bad. It's not great. It's adequate. New York Islanders, it looks like the New York Islanders and hasn't really changed at all. They didn't do anything. So way to be creative, New York Islanders, unfortunately. Nashville, this one's ranked one of the lowest. I kind of agree. I don't know, they look like a honeybee or something. I don't know, man. Or a yellow jacket, actually. What are you trying to be, Georgia Tech or something? You're trying to be Georgia Tech? I don't know. It's too much yellow and white on the the white sash, the white shoulder area, all that. It's adequate. Oilers, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's it's got the orange on the top and then white and then the stripes and all that, kind of like the Edmonton Oilers of the Gretzky era. Similar but different, I guess you can say. Generally speaking, it looks classic 80s, because I love the 80s in general. Not bad at all. The Blue Jackets are the Red Jackets. I don't know, I guess they're trying to be the Cincinnati Reds or something, because it's Columbus, Cincinnati, Ohio, and all that. One of their cities there in Ohio. It's red. I don't know why. I guess they're just trying to look different, because there's really not much retro going on. They didn't have a former team like the Wild did to pull different colors on, so they made it red, and it looks, it's okay. I don't hate red, but it doesn't work for me with this one. It's one of the lower ones, in my humble opinion. Oilers is upper echelon. The Islanders, for lack of creativity, stinks. But I love the Islanders jerseys and colors and logo and everything. I love it. So So I guess that's why they did that. Maybe it's just so well liked. Why screw around with it? That kind of thing. They haven't really changed much over the years, have they? Just little bits and pieces, then again, there was the 2000s where they got real weird. Where was it, like tealish kind of color? And then it had that bearded man and all that, where he's an Islander. Okay, sorry. That one was weird. It's creative, but weird. I was very happy when they went back to the classic New York Islanders look. So I guess this one would have been perfect if they were still stuck in that weird teal color they had in the 2000s. I almost forgot about that. And I remember looking at it years ago and being like, oh, God, what are they doing? What are they doing? Oh, Lord. Oh, awful. Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, it's white with the Red Wings logo. Oh, yeah, and there's a gray stripe where the elbows would be and the bottom of the jersey, that kind of thing. It's great. Absolutely great. That's so creative, I could just burst. I mean, I don't understand. You know, I think that would have been better if it was red with the gray stripe. It actually would have been better. An all-white jersey, it just puts me to sleep. And I would think it would look kind of yucky on the camera during a game, wouldn't it? I don't know. Yeah, Detroit bottom 5, I think, with that one. Minnesota, of course, top 5, yes. San Jose Sharks, it looks like the San Jose Sharks, I guess. It doesn't look that different to me. I don't know. It's okay. It's adequate. I don't know. It's the Sharks. It's the Sharks colors, and maybe just the design's a little different, I guess. That's about it. And the gray front and everything, like the main color is grayish. And then, of course, you got your teal and your dark kind of like the blacker color with the V stripe in the middle where the elbows are and all that. It's okay. It's average, mediocre. Capitals, it's mostly red. And it's the Capitals logo that I didn't like very much during the Ole the Goalie era. Adam Oates, all those guys. I don't know. I didn't like that logo that much. I love Eagles. It's a creative logo and everything. But I like the classic Capitals from everybody with me, late 80s, early 90s. Or just the whole 80s. When Don Beaupre was the goalie, the former North Star goalie was on the Capitals and stuff. I love those jerseys. They're so freaking awesome. And they kind of sort of recreated it the last several years after the Ole the Goalie era in Washington. But it's like red now. This one, the reverse retro, it's red. I don't know. I would have gone with I would have gone further back in time. I mean, sure, it's going back in time, but it's kind of going from the super classic to the retro 90s, early 2000s, Ole the Goalie era to, and then there was like the retro meets new era in the Ovechkin era. Pardon me for bouncing around so much. The Ovechkin and when they finally won the cup and everything era. So it's like they figured they got to get off that because it looks too similar to the classic. But I'd go to the super classic and maybe be cute with that one a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, and it's really red again. Red is okay. I didn't like red on Minnesota though. Like remember when the Minnesota Wild had their red jerseys for the first year or two, it was great. It was absolutely great. Especially you had the laces. And all that, you had the laces on top, the neck and all that, the classic laces, like classic old school jerseys. That was awesome, and it was actually real, unlike the frickin' Gopher ones. Gopher hockey ones were fake image. What are you thinking about? That looks so silly. What are you trying to be, like some goofball at a casino with a fake bow tie? That looks stupid. Yeah, stupid. But, yeah, the red jerseys for Minnesota were, like, after about 2 years... It was like, okay, yeah, you can stop wearing those every frickin' game now. Because they literally phased out the green jerseys, the original green jerseys for Minnesota, because they wore the red ones too much. So the rule was they didn't wear the green enough, so now they're gone. Remember that? And then they came back with the one with the cursive, just Minnesota look about 2-3 years later. And, you're trying to look like 1940, and you never played in 1940. And a lot of people like that. Still, and a lot of people actually would have liked that cursive M instead of the Wild crest. I kind of agree. Actually, the cursive M would have been cool because that's obviously the Minnesota Wild shoulder logo at the moment as well. I would have been okay with that actually versus the Wild crest. But when it's like just the word Minnesota written out the way it was okay. It didn't do a whole lot for me though. That was back in circa like 07-ish, I think, something like that. Still better than the Reds, though. Still better than the Reds. Yeah, I don't know. Carolina Hurricanes, I can't believe some people actually complained about this. What's wrong with people? Just like complaining about the North Star colors. The Carolina Hurricanes went with the Hartford Whalers look. The only complaint might be it's too gray, because maybe it should have been like that navy blue or white, one of the two, or green. Like the all green ones are my favorite. Those were freaking awesome in that era, the 80s. The 80s, yes, the greatest decade of all time. Yeah, Ottawa, geez, talk about red. I mean, again, Cincinnati Reds, welcome back. I didn't know the Cincinnati Reds played hockey. So the Hartford Whalers, yes. Anything with the Hartford Whalers colors and that, the Whalers, with you get the invisible H in the middle, because, yeah, isn't that the coolest thing ever? How you get the whale tail and the W, and there's an invisible H in the middle that a lot of people don't notice right away, because it's the area where there is no crest. There's the H. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I love that. Hartford Whalers. The Whalers. Great colors, great everything. If you complain about the Hartford Whalers, get off my show, damn it. Get off it. Just get off my show. I mean, come on. What are you thinking about, eh? Yep. So, well done. Just like the Wild did with the North Stars. Kings, I can't wait to talk about. That's an awesome one. Let's see, New York Rangers. You got the Statue of Liberty with NYR, and it's all like navy blue with the little red and white stripe in the yellow and the elbow area. It's okay. It's okay. It's bottom half. Ottawa Senators. It's actually not bad. The back is really lame. Like there's just nothing. The back, but I guess the back in most jerseys, you don't really look for that too much. But that one's actually not bad. It blends better than the others. The Capital one's just not that good. The Ottawa one blends well because of the the feathered top of the Senator's helmet, whatever, because that's like a Roman senator, I guess, or old school like French Canadian. Actually, it's probably more like it. Pardon me for saying that. Père de moi. I actually kind of like that one. Like I said, I don't hate red. It goes good with certain teams, and it doesn't go good with others. Like Cincinnati Reds, it's the coolest thing ever. I love the Cincinnati Reds. It's just a white C. I guess they add the black trim to it now, but on the edges, which looks fine, I guess. It makes it stand out more. But, yeah, it works well with this one. It blends great with the logo. Good. Well done, actually. Well done. It's not the most creative thing I ever saw. The logo is like nice and big, and it blends great with the colors, and I kind of think that one's okay. It's like top half, but certainly not top like 5 or anything. Los Angeles Kings looking like the Vikings and the Los Angeles Lakers. It's really good. The early 80s again, early 80s, not the early 2000s when they brought the purple back with black and they didn't have any gold in there. Meh. This is cool. Well done, Los Angeles. That is the legitimate retro jersey for the Los Angeles Kings, and they used to have the purple with the gold. It's awesome. Good job. And it's got the LA Kings from the Gretzky era logo. But I guess that one was hanging around forever, though, for the most part. And why wouldn't you want to have one with the Gretzky era? That's when the Kings were pretty cool. Other than, again, the Kopitar era was when they actually won the Stanley Cup, which was the greatest era ever for the Kings, even though Gretzky probably made the Kings, they made the Kings from one of the franchises that was, is there, and if they play in LA, so it's like instant money, no matter what. Unless, I don't know how you lose money in LA other than not being, I won't go there. That's for a different show called Freedom of Thought. But I think they did an awesome job. Love the purple, love the gold. It kind of makes you think of Blades of Steel a little bit. It's that Blades of Steel era look to you, and Blades of Steel for the Nintendo. Anaheim Ducks. Okay, I guess again people call this kind of like a comic strip look. It looks like it's from a comic book and everything. It sure does. Yeah, it's a duck looking like the Hulk. I like the creative part. I like is the bottom where it's like kind of like a duck pond. You can see the little waves. That's cool. The rest of it, I don't know. The duck's kind of too low on the logo, or kind of too low on the jersey. He's too far down. He's down in the pond there. It's too low. It looks weird. And I don't know. Woohoo! We're the Super Ducks. Yay. That's great. That's really cool. We're the Super Ducks. Super Schmucks is more like it. And then there's no pond look in the back. What are you doing? What are you doing? Of course, you got the teal, you got that kind of blackish, grayish white, and then the white just dominates again, which I don't like. It's bottom half, bottom 5 possibly. It's busy. They put work into it. I appreciate that. And of course, the pond part I think is really cool. How it's kind of hidden. You don't really notice it right away. It's okay. Florida Panthers. Well, it looks like the Florida Panthers. I've never really been a big fan of the Florida Panthers colors or anything. For a short time, it was actually kind of cool. There was that one little era when they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that was like probably their coolest era for their colors and everything, and it was the coolest team too. I didn't like the Florida team that went to the Cup many years ago, Cup final, and got swept by Detroit, if I remember correctly. It was either Detroit or Colorado. I get those all mixed up. Washington, Florida. Those teams got swept by Detroit and Colorado in the Cup finals, basically in the late '90s. So, yeah, it's the Florida Panthers. It's bottom half. Let's get to the top half. Way in the top half. In fact, top 5 easily. A busy jersey, that gets the job done. Oh my! Arizona Coyotes, awesome job. Of course, yep. We like the purple. It's good to have purple in the colors. Of course, you got the Vikings, the Lakers, the Baltimore Ravens, and all that. This might be second place or tied with the Minnesota Wild. It's that good. It's so good. You got the cactuses, the mountains, the night sky, black sky. You get the idea. At the bottom of the jersey, that just meshes so cool. You get that moon. That was the secondary logo for the Arizona Coyotes, pardon me. They were the Phoenix Coyotes when they had that original logo, which it's just so well done. Oh my goodness. The orange looks good too. It's kind of got that Valley of the Sun look, you can say. Of course, this is the Valley of the Moon, or the Coyotes howling at the moon. Purple dominant color for the most part, other than the lower areas like the wrists, and of course the bottom of the jersey, like where your stomach is and stuff like that. Pardon me. But, wow. And then you go to the back, and then there's more cactuses and mountains and all that. They didn't get plain and blank in the back. It just kept going. It's really good. Awesome. Probably top 2, top 3 overall. Awesome job. Great job, Arizona, with this one. Oh, man. If I had a lot of money, I would buy that jersey, to get the Wild and the and that one. Yep. If I could only get 2 jerseys, if I had $360 to burn like it was toilet paper was valuable actually in the early part of this year, so I can't say that anymore. It was valuable. It was like gold. But if it was like junk, if I had money like it was junk, like it was too much of it, yeah, like old recycled paper or recyclable paper, whatever, I'd buy those 2. Yep. And the rest I would just leave on the shelf or whatever. Pittsburgh Penguins, I'd leave this one on the shelf. It's cool, yeah. It says the word Pittsburgh. It's got the Pittsburgh colors because every Pittsburgh team has to be black, orange, or black, yellow, and white. Of course, the white dominates. That's what I don't like. It's too white. Too white is too boring. And it's got Pittsburgh diagonal, from left to right, up to down, northeast. Looks like that would be going from the northwest to the southeast, so to speak, if you describe the word going down, at least from this vantage point. It's bottom half. Calgary Flames, awesome colors. The black dominates, of course. You got the yellow, the red. I think those colors blend together just so well. Kind of looks like the Vancouver Canucks, actually, of the late 80s, early 90s, or most of the 80s. And then you have the flaming horse and everything, because it's like it's the Stampede and all that, and the Saddle Dome and all that. There's a lot of that horse stuff going on in Calgary, which a lot of people wouldn't think about. They think of hockey, not horses. But, yeah, there's a lot of that going on there. Because it is the Old West, even though it's the way northern Old West in Alberta. I like the sea better. I'm sorry. It's really cool. It's creative. I remember it from about 20 years ago. Early 2000s, this and that. The early 2000s is one of the weaker eras for a lot of things, in my opinion. A lot of things. Of course, his music's even worse, though. Music was bad then, and it's even worse now, so I can't include music. I would have rather seen the sea. It would have been cool if they had the sea with kind of like the mesh of red and yellow, But okay, they wanted to put the horse back on. It's pretty cool. It's top half. It's not going to be top 5 because I like the sea better. I'm a sea of red guy, baby. Sea of red. $180, baby. Here's another red one that blends well despite the fact that blues are blue. And people complain about this. It's kind of a mixed opinion thing with the St. Louis Blues. You got the red, you got the Blues logo with the note. That's always going to be there. They didn't get boring or cute with that. You got the little stripes coming from the yellow part of the blue and, into the red. It looks nice. It's okay. It looks kind of weird, but it's fairly well done. I'd say it's top half. Boston Bruins, it's yellow. It's got the more old school looking Bruins logo with the bee. You don't have the bear going on. You get the stripes in the elbow area. That kind of adds to it. I'm glad they put that there and they didn't keep it blank like some of the jerseys. So it's okay. It's a classic. It's like right in the middle for me. Glad the Colorado Avalanche, Colorado Avalanche did something a little bit strange here where they brought in the Quebec Nordiques and that beautiful French logo in the lower half that the Quebec Nordiques used to have there. Loved that classic French look, the Quebec Nordiques logo, but they kept the Avalanche colors. Well, there's at least a shout out to the Nordiques a bit with the that sky blue, which is still on the Colorado jerseys anyway. It is part of their colors, but it's kind of like it's like a shout out to the Nordiques, the sky blue that I love so much. I wish it was the Nordiques colors. Other than that, though, well done. It's kind of plain looking, but I guess it can't be too plain when you have multiple logos on the jersey. So it's definitely top half, probably top 10 at the end of the day. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. And glad to see that the Quebec Nordiques are back. I just like the colors more. Chicago Blackhawks, it's got the rounded circle logo, kind of like the old Minnesota Wild shoulder logo in a way. But it says Blackhawks Chicago, and it's it's kind of shrunk in a tiny bit, but it blends perfectly well. Top half, no doubt about it. It's an original 6 team that looks like an original 6 team, and they didn't bleep it up like Detroit did. Montreal, I'd say the exact same thing. They kept the same logo, of course. Yeah, this logo they didn't mess with, really. And how can you mess with the Montreal Canadiens logo? You get the red stripe all the way through the center, from the elbows all the way through the crest to the other elbow. Blue. It's a blue Montreal jersey, which is different, but it's cool. It's literally reverse. It's retro reverse. This is the definition of retro reverse, so this is top 10 for me because of that reason. Because usually it was red with the blue, right? It was red with the blue. This time they went blue with the red, that type of thing. Blue's dominating with the red kind of filling in where the blue was. Really well done, actually. It's the definition of retro reverse. Think about it. Good job, Montreal. Top 10. Vegas Golden Knights, you got that Vegas star with the swords and all that stuff. The same sword that I guess supposedly stabbed Marc-Andre Fleury in the back, I guess, according to his agent. That was real classy. And of course, that you can see the little hidden V's in the stripes and stuff going up and down. I kind of like this one. I kind of like it. It's getting a lot of flack. They think red is really lame with this Vegas logo or Vegas jerseys and everything. It doesn't go well. It's fine. For me, it's fine. And maybe it's a novel thing, and about 2-3 years from now, you look at it and you're like, oh, get that out of here. I'm sick of it. Well, as long as they don't wear it every game, which they won't. So you won't have to worry about that a whole lot. I like it. I like it just fine. It's top half, I guess. It's kind of like in the middle. I'd say it's top half, though. It's top half, like 13th or something like that. Lucky 13, basically. Something like that, which is not a good number if you're in Vegas. At least I don't think it is. I don't know. I don't gamble, so how would I know? Tampa Bay Lightning look like the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't see a whole lot of retro in this one, other than, I guess, the logo's the original. That's good. I like the original logo. Very classic. Early 90s, Darren Pupa was the goalie back in those good old days, and that was about it. He was the most recognizable name from those days in the early Tampa Bay Lightning. And, they were the 5th place team because they were an expansion club, so the North Stars could still make the postseason. Because it wasn't Toronto anymore. It was Tampa for a couple of minutes. They were in our division for a couple of minutes back in the old days, if I remember correctly. That was kind of weird because it didn't make a whole lot of sense, but they were in our division for a minute. But back in the day, divisions didn't make any sense. They really didn't back in those days. Now they're definitely regional, to say the least. But nicely done. You got that dark blue and blah, blah, blah. The original logo, the white bottom, white top. Yeah, it's okay. Philadelphia Flyers, you can't really go wrong with the Philadelphia Flyers colors, their logo, the black, the orange, the white. They look like an original 6 team to me. They really do. Out of all the second 6, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Minnesota, St. Louis, teams like that came around with the second group. Philadelphia, I think, is the most classic looking of all of them, other than the North Stars. Yes, Philadelphia and Minnesota, of course. But Philadelphia looks like an original 6 team. The North Stars don't. We look like that era, like the 60s, 70s, 80s, that type of era. Philadelphia looks like they could have been around forever. And but again, it does have a 70s look to it, that sweet kind of, 70s look. And well done. Lots of orange, but lots of black as well. It blends in so nicely. I love the Philadelphia Flyers colors, and they did a great job on this one. They get a thumbs up from me. Definitely top half, top 10, I think. Dallas Stars is probably bottom 5 because, I don't know. Well, the only thing I like about it is it's the original Dallas Stars logo. So that's actually good, even though it brings back horrible memories. Because you just take that little Dallas, that little small word that says Dallas above where the Stars is, and you still had the early 90s North Stars, which, again, it sucks that, that could have been a really cool third jersey if the North Stars never left. You keep the original North Stars logo with, the N pointing to the star and the original colors, and then this would have been a third jersey. Not this one, but I mean the ones that they brought out in the early 90s. Could have been a third jersey, like for a special occasion, just for fun, this and that, like Friday night or whatever the hell, a Sunday game on NBC, just for some fun, that type of thing. But I don't know, it's bottom 5 for lack of creativity. It's too white, and that big star thing, it's just, it's okay. That big star look, the lining and everything, and again, it's too freaking white. Buffalo Sabres, average at best. I love the colors. The logo's adequate, the Sabres and everything, and the Buffalo at the bottom. It's kind of mediocre to me. It's below average. I'd say maybe top 20 out of the 30 teams, so to speak. So it's just okay. Philadelphia, way up there, in my humble opinion. So I don't know. If I were to say top 5, Minnesota, Arizona, Los Angeles, Hartford / Carolina, and the 5th one is a little bit tougher. It's probably not going to be that Colorado-Quebec thing because of the lack of the colors. So I'm going to debate on this one. So I got my top 4. It's like you want to think I had this all written down. No, I don't have it written down because sometimes it's a spur of the moment thing. Winnipeg Jets. No, that might be the worst, but the logo brings it up. I think the Ducks is probably the bottom. So top 5, the 5th place one. So they'd definitely be 5th, whoever they are. I'm leaning towards, well, it's between, for me, gosh, I'm starting to really, that Calgary one's really warming up to me a lot because of the lining. The lining just goes so well. It's so cool. I really like it. I don't think that's going to be top 5. Frick, I don't know. Philly, Montreal, and Calgary. It's kind of between those 3. Some people might be like, really, Joey? But I don't know. I Philly, Montreal, and Calgary, man. It's not going to be Columbus, that's for sure. But Columbus, Nashville's bottom 5. Boy, I am going to go with the. I'm going to go with the Flyers. Yep, I praised it too much to not. That's 5th place. North Stars, number 1. Number 2 is Phoenix, Arizona. Number 3 is the. Oh, man. Hartford Whalers, number 4, Los Angeles. It's Hartford and LA are kind of like interchangeable, and Philadelphia. Those 3 are interchangeable, but Minnesota and Arizona are at the top 2. Bottom 5, Winnipeg is bottom 5. Ducks are bottom 5. Nashville's bottom 5. Winnipeg. Anaheim and Nashville, that's your bottom 3, I think. That's your bottom 3 for sure. Other than that, Detroit, that's definitely bottom 5. Because, come on, it's just white with a little bit of gray. Come on, man. That's like not even trying. Pittsburgh, I can't put them there. It's too classic. And Dallas, yep. As much as I love the Dallas logo, I love that logo because it brings me back to the, when the North Stars were still here. They changed the colors and the logo, but they were still here. But it's getting bottom 5 for me. The worst of all is probably Ducks. Yeah, just because it looks weird. It's, the creativity makes me kind of like it sometimes. No, Nashville's the worst, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's actually the worst. Does it? It doesn't matter. That's your bottom 5 at the end of the day. Calgary's getting like 6th place. That's the honorable mention for 6th place, 6th best, because it's so cool. Montreal would be number 7. Freaking awesome. Those two are just so good. Blackhawks are like 10th or something. I don't know. Lack of creativity. I think Detroit's the worst, actually. It's the worst. Lack of creativity. Come on. You can do so much better. It's the Detroit Red Wings. They're like one of the greatest franchises ever. Well, kind of. But I guess that jersey, minus the logo, which is great. The logo is great, but the jersey itself, the lack of creativity, kind of reminds me of the Detroit Red Wings last season. Kind of does, like giving up 4 goals a game and just being a freaking mess and getting demolished by everybody the whole freaking season. Like if that wasn't tanking, I don't know what was. I mean, I think they tanked with this one too, but $180, fork it over, Detroit fans. Come on now. You want this jersey. You do. Capitals is also, Capitals, I think, instead of Dallas. I'm going to put Capitals in the bottom 5 instead of Dallas. I don't like it. Ugh. I don't like it. I didn't like that. I don't like it, no. That one replaces Dallas. I think I like that Stars logo. So that's like 6th or 7th worst. So there you go. That kind of sums that up. Talk a little bit, tiny bit more. Boy, sorry I went so long, but I had fun going over all the jerseys. What the hell? Why not? It's something to talk about. I hope you're having a happy Thanksgiving. If it happens to be Thanksgiving when you're listening to this, or Black Friday, or Black Saturday, or Black Sunday, or just, you're out Christmas shopping and trying to figure out what to do, or you're just kind of hanging out at home watching the snowflakes come down, and if it's actually snowing, maybe you're listening to this much later. Some people are very slow to the show, this and that. So sorry if this isn't super Wild related. It's kind of all over the place. But of course, we're still waiting for a start date, this and that. They extended the collective bargaining agreement right when things got going, and then now they messed it all up and they want to change everything, and because there's more financial troubles with the NHL than say the NBA and NFL. That's why the NBA and NFL are just fine right now. The TV contracts are bajillions and bajillions of dollars. NHL has a TV contract and all that, but it's not as much, and that's the problem. That's why the commissioner and the owners are trying to scrounge more money from the players, and the players are like, we've given enough, this and that. Zach Parise, very frustrated on the Worst Seats in the House podcast. That's what it's called now, the Talk North. Russo and Anthony LaPenta. Michael Russo and Anthony LaPenta, those two guys. Zach Parise, very frustrated. He's just like, that episode's almost like a straight from the source episode in a way. He hasn't done that one in a little while, has he? Huh. That almost should be a straight from the source episode. Because when you interview a player, that's a source. Zach Parise's a source. Hopefully he plays better, though. Holy cow. He looked like I said, it was like Brett Favre from 2009 to 2010. There was a big difference. That's what Parise looked like from the regular season to the bubble season and the postseason, this and that. There was a change. He looked a lot older. It was weird. It was. But, no, that's the frustration. That's the holdup. Of course, there's not going to be any Winter Classic. Of course there wasn't going to be and what would be the point of having a Winter Classic and then there's no fans? That's stupid. So, of course not. So that's at least 1 or 2 years away. Lucky us. That's kind of classic Minnesota luck. We have to put that off, and who knows how much longer we're going to have to wait to see Kirill Kaprizov or Marco Rossi or whoever. Just like when the Wild were so freaking excited, Ryan Suter and Zach Parise just signed their huge contracts, and there's a lockout that lasted forever. You remember that? Wasn't that fun? Yeah, that was so depressing. So it's kind of similar. You get all excited for your new era, and we're waiting. So it's a labor dispute again, because they're like restarting it, even though they had a new agreement, but now they're playing around again. So we'll see. Hopefully it starts at the beginning of January, like they were hinting at. it could have been the beginning of December. I mean, the draft was way back in early October, so I don't know, man. I'm tired of waiting, and I'm sure the players are as well, and of course they are. Zach Parise said the same thing. That's pretty much where we are right now. It's a standoff, it's a stalemate, and I don't blame the players for being frustrated at all. In other sports, I tend to side with the owners a little bit. Like the NBA, I think the players are getting ridiculous in the NBA in so many ways. $40 million a year, really? I mean, really? Like the shoe contract wasn't enough? Yeah, schmuck. $40 million. Or in the NHL, $10 million is considered like a holy cow. Like Connor McDavid money, basically. Basically, he's actually making a little more, but still, it's 4 times more in the NBA. Just let that just wrap your head around that. Same amount of games and everything. 82. Hockey's more dangerous than basketball. A lot more dangerous. Just a freak whack by a stick or a puck to the God knows what. A puck to the knee. A puck to the ankle. A puck to this. A puck to that. A puck to your hand. A skate to God knows where. It's more dangerous. It really is. A freak smash into the wall. And I know basketball freak injuries happen, but hockey, it's worse. So it is what it is. I wish hockey got more viewers. I really did. Bring your kids up to watch hockey. That's all I got to say to the parents of young kids. I know Justin Backey's doing an awesome job. Justin Backey, what an awesome guy. Awesome. So with that said, we're going to look to call it a show here. I think I've gone a little too long. I've been babbling a little too long, but really enjoying this very much. I hope you are as well. Hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving if you're still eating it right now, eating your Thanksgiving dinner, this and that. And I hope you have a nice couple weeks here coming up. I'll try to get back on the air again. Hopefully there's some better news coming up about the NHL season starting, this and that. Please write a positive rating on iTunes or Stitcher if you could. Just absolutely loved that wonderful review on Stitcher. To you out there that wrote that, what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful review. It's the most positive, kind thing I've ever seen in my life, ever. And I'm saying that sincerely. In any form of work or podcast or whatever. It was absolutely wonderful. So I can't thank you enough. And of course, all those of you that I've met the last year, like Derek and Justin, Brandon Quast, Brett Marshall, Zeke Boyette, guys like that. Can't thank you guys enough for being kind to me when we're able to interact. Of course, Isha and State of Hoppy there. Just awesome guys. You guys are spectacular. Soda Pod, Sound the Foghorn. And of course, Derek Felska, crease and assist from the Sports Daily. Incredible hockey writer. Absolutely great. So with that, again, like I said, please write a positive review if you could on iTunes or Stitcher. Those are the two that you can, I think. And I'm not sure if you can do it for Google yet. They should offer that. Google Podcasts or any of the other apps. PodMN. I don't know if they do reviews on that or not. But there's one final thing I was going to say. Audio submission, if you could. Please use the free voice recording application on any smart device on the planet. Just press record, treat it like a phone call, hit stop, save it, and email it to paladinolive@yahoo.com. paladinolive@yahoo.com. I will leave all that information in the show description. Please mention which show you're calling in for, which is Brave the Wild. I could probably figure that, but say it anyway. I will then convert it into an MP3 file, thanks to Zamzar.com, which does it for free for me because it's a small enough file. If you need larger files converted, you'll sign a subscription with them. You'll need to sign a subscription, and it's a very, very efficient, wonderful website. So that's why I'm giving them a free plug because of what they offer to this show. With that said, take care. Happy Thanksgiving and happy Christmas season and happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate as we move forward. Take care.